So where would you like to see AR within the next 1 to 2 years? I mean, you've kind of touched in a little bit to
right. I'm not, honestly, I'm not really an AR advocate. It's like, if people want to do cool things with AR, I just want to see cool things. I don't really care if it's AR or robotics or high-speed photography or somebody who does something cool with a piece of paper he folds, with a piece of origami. I'm intrigued by artists telling stories or making something aesthetically beautiful or something which touches me somehow. AR has yet to do that somehow to me. I think there's a really big potential. There's some really beautiful things. I remember there was a Christmas card by some Japanese developers like 2 or 3 years ago, where like things would come out of it, like beautiful generative stuff. Theo Watson did a really beautiful thing with a magazine with things floating up and down. I cannot recall the name of the project right now. So they're here and there. They're just like these wonderful things. Like laser tag was a great thing. So, and I'm sure there's going to be much more of that. I don't know that what the place is of AR. I'm interested definitely in the artistic side or the storytelling side of it.
Excellent. Well, do you have anything that we can take a look at here that maybe has been on YouTube, but it's always more fun when you can.
Yeah, we can. I can start this up and.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that would be great. That's.
I'm gonna quickly show kind of what the setup is here. So I have here's actually what the computer sees, and I should quickly adjust the threshold. So we want to have really nice blobs, and then if I turn on the debug info, you actually see how the cards get recognized. So we're looking for blobs, and then for curvatures, if it has 4 curvatures and the right aspect ratio, it's probably a card. And the little square you see inside the card is actually, we're mapping into the card AR Toolkit tracking marker, but in software. So it's kind of markerless, but there is a layer of markers which is inside the software. So let me turn this off. And so in the actual performance, what happens? In the actual performance, what happens is there is a card which gets lost in the deck, like this, and at a later point I try to find the card. But on the way finding the card, let's give them a shuffle, on the way finding the card there's a little story about cards happening. So this is the operator screen, and this is what the audience would see behind me on stage. So there are 4 suits in a deck of cards: hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades.
Watching magic is an active pursuit of what is false and what is true.
Performing magic is always about these multiple layers of reality combining. Now, each of the 4 suits represents one of the 4 seasons. Spring, summer, fall, and winter.
My favorite season is winter.
Mine too. Like magic, winter involves visual change and delicate balance between its physical states. Now in each of the 4 suits, there's a total of 13 cards.
Each card representing a phase in the 13 lunar cycles.
So over here we have a high tide, and then over here we have low tide, and in the middle is the moon. There are 2 colors in a deck of cards. There's the color red, right here, and the color black. They're representing the constant change from day to night.
Marco, I did not know you could do that.
Well, actually, in a deck of cards, in a complete deck of cards, there's a total of 52 cards. Which 52, right? 52 cards, which represent the 52 weeks in a year. And if we count all the cards together, the total is 365.
If the values of all the cards are added, the result is 365.
And that's the exact number of days we actually have between our birthdays. Birthday cake. It was on my 6th birthday when I received the first deck of cards, and ever since that day I traveled the world entertaining boys and girls, men and women, husbands and wives, and kings and queens.
And sometimes the kings and queens' servants.
Now with these guys you have to be really careful. Hey, wake up!
Whoa!
Are you ready?
Ready.
Now let me see what you got.
Presenting my Augustine.
And obviously it's not tracking. Oy, oy, oy. So this happens if you don't set the colors right. Well, anyway, today I'm performing for a different kind of audience, and here's our selected card. I'm gonna put the card right here.
Sign card detected.
And you know, sometimes people ask me to do magic, and you just work from 9 till 5. Of course not, you have to work 24/7. Magic is really that hard that you have to practice 24 hours, 7 days a week. Although 24/7 sounds a little bit like exaggeration. It does take practice, however, but some people will say magic is the work of some evil, supernatural forces. Now to this I say no. Okay, in German it's 9-9. It's really not that intense. I have to warn you, if you ever play with a man who's so good with cards, don't play for money. Because even if you receive a decent hand, don't be prepared. And that leaves me with the last and most important card of all. This is without a question the real thing.
Sign card detected.
That's it. This is without a question the real thing. Alright, so this is the projection tracking stuff. So there are 4 invisible infrared LEDs in the corners of this board, and you probably see that there's like this follow spot which follows me. So I'm also tracking myself while moving with this canvas, and then I can illuminate the canvas while moving, so the video image stays stuck to the canvas. And I don't know if you wanna show the screen of the laptop for a moment.
Oh yeah, good.
See, like, if you wanna go back and forth. So this is the tracking of the dots, and then I also have a little indicator so I can switch from scene to scene. So I can switch, this is the next scene. So because I'm tracking not with a Wiimote, this was actually originally inspired by something Johnny Lee did, where he tracks projection surfaces onto a cardboard with a Wiimote, which limits you to 4 points. So I can have a 5th point, which, because I'm using a camera, so I can actually do drawing on the board. And then there's a particle system which kind of can make this deintegrate and reintegrate into something else. So that's very cool. And again, this sticks on the board, and it's fairly quick. There's a little bit of latency due to the projector, but it's about 130 frames. And then I can draw into masks, just like this.
so what do you do with technology outside of magic? Other applications you develop?
Well, recently, magic is very introverted as an art form, so magicians really don't share so much. They're, even amongst ourselves, we're not very giving in lots of instances. So recently, I've been playing with the idea of actually doing some sort of open source magic kind of thing. So I created an iPhone app which runs on iPod Touch and then an iPhone and on the iPad, which enables you to synchronize video across multiple devices, which is something which is in my industry there's a high demand of having videos on multiple screens and synchronizing them. It's a very expensive thing, so I released this free app. It's called Multivid. You can download it in the App Store, and it comes with a little server software. So these kind of projects of, you could say, open source magic or sharing your ideas and your research is kind of another aspect of how technology plays into